The new information on the disappearance of a Connecticut couple now missing for more than a month. The FBI releasing text messages between the missing father, Jeffrey Navin, and his son, Kyle. We'll show you those messages in a moment. Throughout several messages, Jeffrey, the father, accuses his son of framing him for murder. Jeffrey and his wife, Jeanette, have been missing since early August. In the meantime, Kyle is in police custody on an unrelated federal firearms charge. Authorities are now deciding whether to keep him behind bars. Joining us now, Prosecutor Jonna Spilbor and criminal defense attorney Brian Claypole. Welcome to you both. This is a mystery, Jonna. We don't really know. We don't know if this couple is missing. We don't know if they're dead. And if we don't know the answer to that question, how does this case move forward?
Right. That explains why this kid, Kyle, has not been arrested for the murder or in connection with the disappearance of his parents. Right now, this case is a nightmare for prosecutors because, as you mentioned, we don't even have bodies. And without bodies, we can't determine whether they're dead or alive. And even if they are dead, that doesn't necessarily mean there's been a homicide. This has left a very empty trail of evidence thus far. No forensics. I mean, in a day and age where everything we do is recorded or pinged out on a cell tower, or digitally leaving imprints, it is impossible to just fall off the grid without there being something wrong, but we need more than our hunch to be able to move forward on this case.
Apparently the parents' phones were turned off, Brian, which is why there's no tracking to those particular phones. And we do have some text messages, and I'm going to show our viewers the text messages between the father and the son. And this was all sent midday, by the way, in a matter of just a few moments. The father asked his son, Kyle, did you hurt mom? The son says, no, absolutely not. Why would you think? Father says, I go home, get framed for murder. The son says, oh, stop. The father says, I'm going to police first. How would you use these text messages? Do they tell us anything, Brian?
Well, Jenna, absolutely. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news when we think that the father might be dead. He may not be dead because those text messages signal to me that he must have known that something was wrong with his wife. Why would he be raising this question with the son before it's even been reported to anybody that his wife is missing?
So you think he might be part of it, Brian? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I think those two may have collaborated to kill the mom and the wife. And I think another thing, you're going to have to look into whether there was any marital discord, whether there was any prior domestic violence reports filed among those two. But what most important, though, Jenna, is that comment by the father, hey, I'm going to go to the police first. And then he disappears. Maybe he's not dead. Maybe he just left town and he's somewhere else because he feared that the son might go to the police first. So I think that's a new twist in the story.
Jonna, what do you think of that theory?
I think it's a little far-fetched. Who in their right mind has a conversation over text, a casual conversation about, hey, did you kill mom? Like, hey, what time are you coming over for dinner? I don't get that. We don't know. This kid could have texted himself from his father's cell phone if there really was something going on. I mean, it's so bizarre that I don't know if we can make any
just a little bit more information, Brian, for a second for our viewers, because here's why Kyle was arrested because of the gun charges. Part of the reason that he was arrested is because of his alleged drug use as well. And what investigators found at his home, a Home Depot receipt for germicidal bleach, hair and grease drain opener, Goo Gone stain remover, and a contractor cleanup bags. They also found his truck at a meeting place along the side of the highway where apparently he met his parents now and then, again, under the guise that he's had some sort of drug issues in the past. His truck was found with what police say is blood and also a bullet hole. So there is that evidence, which is why there's a big question mark around the son. How damaging is that to him, Brian?
Well, it's damaging, but as Jonna said earlier, I do agree with her with this. First of all, we don't have a body. We don't know whether the mom and the father are dead. Secondly, we don't know the mechanism of death. There might be a bullet hole in the window, but maybe she wasn't killed by a bullet. Maybe she was strangled. We don't know that. Third, we don't know whether any of the physical or forensic evidence links the son to the mom or the father. So, I mean, there's three glaring holes in the case. It looks circumstantially like there is a case, but you need a little bit more than that. But the good news is this. Here's the good news, though, Jenna. The fact of the matter is the son is in jail on a federal firearms charge. So that's good. He's in jail. He's incarcerated. That gives the police department and law enforcement an opportunity to do more copious investigation.
And you say, Brian, you go after his girlfriend, right? Because his girlfriend was found in the video driving the son to the home.
Yes.
She said to cops, "No, I never was near. I wasn't near the home at all." They find her on the video. So you say you would go after her. Why?
You bet. You bet. And you were just reading my mind, because she's meek. She's already lied during this investigation. They could possibly even arrest her for obstruction of justice or perjury right now, put her in jail, put the pressure on her, and say, hey, look, you better come clean, or we're also going to charge you for an accessory before the fact, and an accessory after the fact. And she might be looking at long years in prison if she doesn't come clean and tell law enforcement what really happened.
Johnny, your final thoughts here on this bizarre case?
Yeah, I agree. The police need to put pressure on both of them, on the son and the girlfriend, to see if anybody's going to flip. If this kid was on drugs, maybe that's all the motivation he needed. Not in his right mind. He kills both his parents and incinerates them. They owned a trash company. He would have access to dispose of the bodies in a way that nobody would ever find them. This is a mystery, but it must be solved.
Wow. Jonna and Brian, I say what a case. There's not even a case yet, but it's so bizarre because of these missing people, and what a shame. We hope that maybe they're out there and okay, but it doesn't seem like that. So we'll see what happens next. Thank you very much. We'll see you next hour, Jonna, for another case.